Welcome to Land House. Today we're in Asheville at the Nature Center. The kids haven't been here and Ashley's not been here in years, so we're going to explore and see some animals. Look how tall that goat is. And a goat. I think I know where the bear is. He's walking. He is slow. There's a rattlesnake. Come here. Can you see him? We made it back from the Asheville Nature Center. It was pretty typical zoo behavior for the animals. Middle of the day, 80 degrees, so they're all inside and not a lot of action, but I think Emma had a fun time, at least just running around and seeing the animals as best she could. But so I'm out here again watering the grass on the off-grid ram pump system, and I actually am starting to see some little shoots coming up. So my 5 or 6 days of watering now is starting to pay off, which I'm excited about. Excited, not excited. Anyway, I've worked an extra 2 days, third shift this week, and I've got an extra day coming up, and then I'll be working 16 days straight. I'm gonna pay off some bills like crazy, but I'm gonna be tired. So just wanted to throw that out there. But anyway, hopefully tomorrow I will bring you along for some fun content. But for this evening, I'm gonna water the grass for a minute and then head off to work here in just a bit. My mom and dad are here today, and we are going to be tackling the next section of the walkway that goes from the front door to the workshop. And sadly, I'll have to get rid of my pink carpet that's now 3 years old. But I think we're going to be offsetting until we get over there, because this is 7 across, and we're just going to be stepping it over until we get there. Probably should head on into the shop real quick, and while we're digging, I can have batteries for my saws and drill be charging. It definitely would be a way to get things moving here. Alright, so I actually have a video on my channel, where's my tripod, there it is, of the step-by-step process of this. So today, I'm just going to kind of show a couple little clips for you.
Your water down there, Jane, to
yeah, so it's out of the sun. Yeah. Well, I didn't think we were being...
Yeah, as long as you don't hit me, I'll shovel. Once you hit me, I will quit.
I don't blame you.
We'll get a broom and sweep. Get ready, Emma. Sand. Oh. Yeah, right in the middle.
So is this one for us?
Looks.
It's close. Now it may just be.
Okay, Emma.
So. At Toyota place.
Yeah.
And
You're alive too.
Oh man, Got some pretty good sleep last night after working extra days at work. So I think I'm going to use the Japanese pool saw to pull this dowel off of here that I installed. And it kept the carpenter bees out. So I think I'm going to make a dedicated video on this down at the Playhouse, where a whole bunch of carpenter bees have been building their nest. Anyway, I'm going to just use the pool saw here. Hopefully stand on this bucket. Yeah. So I can get up here and remove this. Let's see how well I can film and do this. Okay, you get the point. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that there were no ants on the tiny house, and I was kind of surprised. Turns out it was just a little early for them, and there were ants all around the perimeter and climbing up to the top of the block work. So I just sprinkled my typical poison around the edge here, around the entire perimeter, and all the ants are gone. I find that if I get it up here on this spilt concrete, it really takes care of them, especially around the door too. So the same friend that gave me that ant poison also gave me the giant lumber pile that I used to build the workshop, and the tongue and groove that's under these tarps. She also gave me several bags of fertilizer. And since Emma and I put some grass seed on the hill last week, I want to take some of that lime, I believe it is. I've got, yeah, that top bag there, and just use the spreader and get that on the grass. So while I'm waiting for the dowel to dry on my kids' playhouse for the carpenter bee, go ahead and spread this around. I've thoroughly enjoyed using the ram pump to water the grass. Just goes up to my 100-gallon tank up the hill, and I just bring it back down. And so every evening for the past week and a half I've been watering out here. Slowly starting to see some of the grass pop up. I'm just putting some water on the fertilizer that I just sprayed out, and my pressure has dropped significantly on the hose. So either I've got a kink somewhere in my hose, or my tanks are running empty. If the tanks are going empty, I don't see a kink anywhere in here. I noticed yesterday that the ram pump was hitting hard, which means that the pressure tank is waterlogged. It's been, I'm gonna say, 5 weeks that it's been running, which is, I mean, decent. It's pumped a lot of water. So if that's the case, then over the past couple of nights that I've dumped, 30, 40 gallons out of here, it's just dropping the pressure. So let's see. I see the pipe is still jumping here, hitting pretty good. I wonder if the pipe has pulled loose from the tanks up here. Let's go find out. Okay, interesting stuff going on up here. Looks like we have busted a fitting under here, but it's holding the pressure in the tanks because of the valve. But what's happening is, with each cycle, a little bit of movement is occurring in the pipe. Anyway, it's just broken that loose. So yeah, and the tanks are empty there. So let's go ahead and get this thing fixed. I'm just gonna, I guess, cut that barb off, or actually, it's a pipe razor there that's busted. I don't know, maybe I can pull it out of that valve, but so let's see what we can do here. I think I'm gonna need, yeah, something to pull that out of there. And what I'm gonna have to do is take one of these spare boards that's hanging out here and probably drive it into the ground with a rebar, so that that pipe, as it's jumping, won't pull it back down the hill. That's wild. Let's go ahead and open this valve. Okay, so there really wasn't much water left in those tanks at all. And now I should be able to, let's see, let's close that just for the fun of it. That's a tight fitting. Man. Okay, see if I can get that off of there. Okay, so as you can see, that pipe razor popped off there kind of deep, so I may use a hacksaw later and just save that valve, but for now I found another valve that I can use. I also removed the spring from that one like I did with this one, so it's a good candidate for this application. So just going to remove this fitting over here and swap it over to this one, and I should be able to pull that pipe razor out of the other fitting with no problem. So that's what I'm going to do real quick. Okay, got some stuff here I can fix this with. So I'm going to return this section up here and go ahead and get that tight. So now I can pull this union off, hopefully. I loosened it up down in the shop. And this piece can be returned onto this. Okay, so now the thing I have to do is, I found this spike here, and I can drill a hole in this board and just maybe anchor it down, I'm guessing somewhere in here, so that as the pipe bounces, I'll be able to prevent it from shaking back down the hill and pulling this loose again. So my thoughts here were that I could put the board up under the pipe and then use some plumber's tape to secure this, and then just drive that spike into the hole I just drilled, and that way it's going to hopefully be able to hold this into place well enough. Okay, I've tried to pull the slack out of the line from the bottom. Let's see. And so now I'm just going to drive this in here. Okay, so hopefully now it won't be able to pull this pipe down anymore. Got those two pieces on, and then I pulled it an inch or two up this way, hopefully. So you can see where the bend used to occur right there. So hopefully this will now match up real quick. Man, it's still a little bit off, isn't it? Let's see what I can do about that. I have that all fixed up now. As you can see, the water is pouring back out. I can hear there's a bit of a leak at this hose clamp. So I need to tighten that up. And then you can see here where it was pinched right there. And it's another, I'm gonna say 4 or 5 inches higher than it was. And hopefully locking it down on this board here will really make a big difference. Well, fixing the ram pump storage tanks kind of set me back a little bit. I hear the kids screaming up at the house, and Ashley sent me a text saying we are going to go to playgroup today. We weren't going to go, but now we are. So I'm going to go ahead and put this weed eater back in here, and we will try this again another day. It's been 5 hours. I wanted to see how full the tanks were now. About right there. Yeah, so let's see, if these are 100 gallon, that's probably what, 25, I guess, right there across that. So doing pretty good. I'm no longer hearing the sound of that the hiss that was here, and it looks like so far The hose has stayed where it needs to be. Or I guess pipe, tube, whatever. Man, okay, well we went to the play group, went out to eat a little bit. My sandwich was terrible, so I'm kind of hungry. But anyway, just wanted to check this out, and it seems like it's doing just fine. And with that amount of water there, I should have more than enough to water the grass this evening and get that fertilizer taken care of. Yeah, it's not rained here in 2 weeks, and the ground here is just dry. I noticed that the plant in the front of the house is starting to wilt, so I think I'll give it some water this evening. But anyway, I think I'm gonna go back inside for a bit. See all those wasps right there? I'm gonna be taking care of those in the winter time, I believe. Several months ago, I was putting insulation up in the attic and saw the nests, and they're pretty big. So when it's cold and they're dormant, I will go up there and take care of them. I may go ahead and give this thing some water now because it's really starting to look like it's got some problems going on. Let's do that. Loading the car up this morning, got some cardboard boxes and some trash. I need to throw out this salt melt that is melting all over the place. I'm gonna take the kids out for a while, give Ashley some riding time. It's time to give my old carpet to the trash. This thing has been with me for several years now. It's the carpet that was going to the workshop. Make sure there's no nasty bugs in here. Man, it's heavy. Definitely glad to have that new walkway to the shop. It's not done yet, but it's almost there. But anyway, we're gonna head to I think Lowe's for a minute. We drop off some ram pump orders, and then maybe head over to my mom and dad's for a little while. Just give Ashley some time, but I may show you a clip or two of each of those steps. The price on these is actually even better than I saw online. Yeah, I'll probably just get 2 of these, since that's what I'm going to be needing. Uh-oh. Did you spill your juice cup? Uh-oh.
Here's Emma. Ready, ready, ready. Woo! Oh boy.
Nothing better than a slide in the house, huh?
That's right. Yeah, go ahead, go again. Yeah, go again. Go again, go again, go. You're blowing bubbles. Yes, you're blowing bubbles. Yes, you are. So I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna tell about it.
Whee!
You ready? Go!
Just got back from my parents' house. My mom bought a slide, and Emma was on that thing for over an hour. She loved it. So I looked these up. They're called ballisters or baluster. Anyway, it goes on the porch of the playhouse and also up the staircase that I'm going to be building. So I got 32 of them, and I'll be using this material over here for the staircase. Hopefully I'll get to that next week. Speaking of next week, I am starting, I think it's actually an 18-day stretch of work. So I'm gonna be exhausted. I've got 2 ram pump videos already filmed, so I'll have to film another one at some point, maybe even tomorrow, hopefully. But as far as content goes, I'm still gonna try and get you some vlog material, and then also the ram pumps on Monday. I'd like to get to build this as well. But if the content is a bit slow and lacking, you'll know it's because I'm putting in an extra 80 hours in the next 2 weeks. So, well, Emma's asleep, Arrow's asleep. I think I'm going to get them inside and just kind of chill with the family and edit the video you're watching here. So if you would, remember to hit the thumbs up button. I was doing a little bit of research, and apparently the YouTube algorithm that you always hear about picks up highly on the community interaction, and so thumbs up are a big part of improving the views here on the channel. But and with the ram pump videos, things are definitely rising, which is fun. People want to watch what they want to watch. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Bye.